Whether I was prepared for leadership, the answer is yes.
Welcome back. It's still Unspoken here on Universal TV Africa, UTV Africa. And we are having conversations about those things that people really don't talk about. People talk about the other side of those things. But this program is designed to give the people involved the opportunity to also set the record straight, say the correct things about those issues and their persons. Well, for introduction, once again, my name is Maddox and I'm here with Steve, and our guest is still here, His Excellency Okeze Victor Ibazu, PhD, the immediate past governor of Abia State. Before we went on that break, we have been extracting the correct information from him about so many things. But now we want to talk about something. It went viral. Your Excellency, you were appearing on a radio program when you made those when you used those famous words, flyover, Obasarunu. And many people felt it was insensitive of you. First of all, they were questioning the rationale for the Osisioma flyover. People thought, oh, it was just a window dressing so that you want to show some working of something that was not any working. You were not doing anything for the state, but just wanted to do something to show off, make it look like you were doing something. And then the design of the flyover, they called it a center table. It didn't make sense, and the workmanship wasn't the best there could be. And nobody should drive on it though, so that you don't go and die on top of that thing that wasn't well made. And you were asked a question about it, in which you seemed to be dismissive of what people thought should have been genuine concerns, and said flyover Obasarunu. And even people that don't have cars are talking about flyovers. But seriously, let's talk about that Osisioma flyover. What was the whole idea behind it? Should we really believe people when they say that it was an unnecessary project that you were just doing to please yourself?
The Osisioma flyover from Umuahia or from Owerri or from Enugu, wherever you're coming from, even if you decide to come from Port Harcourt, moving from Osisioma to Ariaria or Abba City Center, because nobody comes to Abba for anything except to come and do trade.
Osisioma is more or less the entry point to the main heart of Abba.
Exactly. That is the entry point. So ordinarily, before now, it would take you 1 hour, 30 minutes to move from Osisioma to Ariaria Junction. That is Brass. 1 hour, 30 minutes. But after the flyover, it will take you 15 minutes. Maximum. On a day that, on a school day, that road is busy. Maybe on a Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday. So if you know the value of time in terms of how it affects output, how it affects trade and commerce, you will know that reducing traveling time from 1 hour, 30 minutes to less than 10 minutes or 15 minutes is not a small thing.
Yeah, very true.
So for me to be proud of the roads that I did, I brought Arab contractors. They did Abba Road Umuahia. Before I came, that Abba Road Umuahia had been intractable for 40 years. In fact, they said there's something, Mami Water, something around modern ceramics. Nobody remembers it again. At some point before, people used to use a shovel and headpan, and they would be pouring sand around and doing all those kind of things. I brought Arab contractors. They dealt with it and left. And that road is there. Go and see Fox Road. The day we said we have completed with Fox Road, because of rigid pavement, it's there. What the problem of Amikone, problem of Fukumango. Kumango defied 2-3 administrations before me. So that flyover was done by a Chinese company. It wasn't done by a local contractor. If you look at my leadership, whether people want to agree or not, I was able to reduce infant mortality by 71%. Because I was able to increase enrollment in primary health care centers by 30%. If you don't see the people at the primary health care centers, there is no way infant and maternal mortality will not go high. Because if they don't do their antenatal and do their postnatal and do all the vaccinations and things they need, you will have problem. So how do you bring them under your care? People are just not thinking. So these parameters are there. By the time I left government, Abia was the third best in this abysmal poverty index thing. Was the third best. So these are parameters that are there by MBS. I don't know the office of MBS.
So these are independent statistics.
Independent statistics, yes. So what again are they talking about?
So there's something, you mentioned about leadership. I'm sorry to go to a place like Akwa Ibom. It's what I always talk about. As a Lagos person, that of Lagos is neither here nor there. But they saw Akwa Ibom, where they said Victor Atta was slow, it was this. But today, everybody says Atta is the architect. He did the foundation.
See, okay, the development paradigm in Akwa Ibom, if you look at it from afar, you will be amazed at the wisdom of Atta. So Atta was looking for an anchor. Why do I have to go to Akwa Ibom? Apart from Mobile, and Mobile people, all the high-earning staff of Mobile can fly chopper.
Yes.
And they create, and you know how oil companies, they create an environment in the forest where everything is there. They don't need it. So what Atta did was to start a bomb hotel. That's a bomb hotel. People will say, who will come? But that was what they call in economic development an anchor. He did an 18-hole golf course and started advertising that Tiger Woods was coming to play. And see, the beauty of a golf course is that 70% of people who play golf have capacity to invest.
True.
And nobody can invest 1 billion naira in a place he can't sleep. You can't fly into a place and fly out and you put 1 billion. So it was great wisdom. Then that wisdom was complemented by the road network built by Akpabio. So you now see things. Akpabio did not come and say, I am turning this bomb hotel now to university. Because if he did that, the whole thing would have been on reverse.
Even though he didn't agree with so many things,
but
the vision.
He mentioned it was he who completed the hotel actually.
Leadership is a relay race, it's a continuum.
Exactly.
So somebody finishes, and I was coming to it. I said, now that you have finished, you were toying with the idea of an airport for Abia. And somehow you're out of office, and the next thing we're hearing, no plan was on ground, that you just use it as a way to collect some money, cream off some money and pocket. So, Your Excellency, where is the money?
Some amount was mentioned.
Where is the money
10
for the
billion.
airport? How much?
Okay. At some point, we wanted to do not an airport. I will never do an airport. It was a trade port.
Okay.
Trade port.
It was something like what they did in Dubai. It was a small 3-star hotel, beautiful conference rooms, some beautiful shops where made in Abia things will be sold, and all those, so that people can come to Abia, and the airport will be the destination. A lot of people go to Dubai, they don't enter the city. They just do whatever because it's at the center of everywhere. Fly from Africa, you fly from London, we meet at the airport.
Duty free.
Duty free. If you have 50 billion in that, it will take the whole money. They have goods and services that can consume all kinds of money. So, do you go back and he will go back? So I wanted to create that kind of hope, yes. Okay. So as we were talking about it and all of that, we spoke to some banks, we spoke to some, and then the traditional rulers came, led by the chairman of Abia State Traditional Rulers Council. At that time, I had not concluded Fox Road, leading Tariare. The man now came and said, the traditional rulers came and said, okay, that less than 10% of Abia population fly, actually. So this 90% use area. They use Ezuku market. They use Ogwa Road market. Complete these roads for us quickly. That it will make more meaning in the economy of Abia than that. And at that time, Abia, under my watch, couldn't afford that. And we had all of these things. So I said, okay, instead of starting something that I may not even finish, because 10 billion wouldn't have done the airport, by the way. So I saw wisdom, and I went back to school. I said, gentlemen, what do we do? And they said that they agree with those traditional rulers. If I wanted something for glory, something for noise making, something that will make people clap, if they will clap, those are the kind of things you do. And when you do it, you tie that money there. You've not created the kind of economy you want to create. Your people are still hungry and they're not flying. And meanwhile, the airport, nothing is landing. I know some airports that were built and completed and nobody has landed.
True.
So when that happened, I said, okay, what do we do now? ESCO agreed that, okay, get the contractors that are doing these roads, send a schedule to the bank, and let them fund them. And the schedule is there. The ESCO decision is there. Everything is there. It is also in the handover note, which they refuse to. You know, if you want to hide something from a Nigerian, put it in the book. They will not read it. They will not read it. So, or mischief. If somebody just wants to be overtly mischievous, somebody can, you know. So, we have been waiting for, there's all kinds of audits, all kinds of investigation, all kinds of whatever. Well, we are here. And I think some of my people who work with me have been able to say to them that you can accuse me of all kinds of things, but not of greed. I'm not tempted by that kind of thing.
Talking about Paris Refund and what you did with it, you talked about paying teachers and other people, but one of the biggest things that are held against you is that you owed salaries, you weren't paying the civil servants, you owed for a lot of months. Teachers were on strike for so long, you were not paying them. The Abia State Polytechnic, you owed them so much, you were not paying.
If leadership, if I inherit assets, I should be willing and ready and courageous enough to inherit liability. And it is a defeatist approach. It's I don't want to say. If I borrow part of Tommy's definition of an idiot, I would say it is idiotic to say that you are not interested in what your predecessor is owing. I can't say that kind of thing. In fact, it's an insult to the worker. I was like 3 months old or 4 months old as governor in 2015, and I paid 11 months.
Arrears.
Yes. I wasn't the person owing 11. I wasn't the... No. I could have said, I have paid you people 11 months, so the next 11 months, don't ask me of money. But when I paid and they said, okay, we are taking it as the ones we are owed before. It's okay. If you were owed and it is verified, it's okay. Those workers, working civil servants and all of that, none of them. The people we were having problem with were those in parastatals. Those working with the Ministry of Education, Ministry of...
Are you not supposed to pay parastatals too?
No. Parastatals are revenue generating.
Okay.
Right now, I don't know what they're doing. I think they're collecting all their money and paying them. But I didn't, like Abia State University, I won't go to Abia State University and say to them, pay the school fees that the students are paying, pay it to age. I didn't feel I should do that because it will clip and whittle the autonomy of the tertiary institutions. I know what it takes to run a university. You know, but I say to them, if I pay you salary and you also collect
Revenue.
Yeah. What you should expect me to pay is subvention, not salary.
Okay.
You know, but that is neither here nor there. But what I'm telling you is the noise you hear about backlog of salaries was because I also inherited. and I took responsibility. So I didn't come to say, oh, now there's a clean slate. I'm not going to look at what my predecessor did and all of that. Abia State Polytechnic, they were owing First Bank 2 billion. And First Bank was doing 70 million every month. So you give them money, they collect. Once you give them, they collect 70 million. And yet they're still owing the 2 billion. So I had a meeting with the management and I said, so if I pay off this 2 billion and free this 70 million, can you run? And they said yes. I paid it. And they came back on Monday, they can't run.
They suddenly realized they couldn't run.
They suddenly realized they couldn't run. But you don't go back and forth with your workers. So when I came, I decided to deal with some of those deficiencies, having studied what has happened. Okay, the International Conference Center was started by Governor T. Orji. I completed it and named it T. Orji. The Asupe building was started by Governor T. Orji. I completed it and named it Mike Onyebuchi. The Jack building was started by T. Orji. I paid for the entire completion of that building through Union Bank. But I understand they just completed it now. Maybe they want to say they built it. The government house was started by Governor T. Orji. I completed it. But though the present governor says he's not
using it,
he's not going to use it. And he also started the office very close to adjacent the governor's lodge, the new governor's lodge, which anybody that is serious-minded can take up and build and give credit to those who started it and also arrogate some credit to himself for completing it. That is what leadership is all about. So you cannot say that Abia started in 2023. No, now. It's disingenuous. It is also pedestrian. It is elementary. That is mediocre thinking. If I had a choice to ask what I would have loved to inherit, part of what I would have loved to inherit from my predecessor would have been a long-term development plan, an industrial plan. Because for him to do that, he would have done some thinking and all of that. But in our case, we brought UNIDO to sit with us and do an industrial plan. That a serious-minded person will just look at the industrial plan and begin. And there are two factories, the shoe and the garment. But I'm saying that there is a clear path. There's a clear path for our people. And because already, before I left, we created an ecosystem in garment. We had a footwear academy, private sector driven. We had these garment people that I think the worth of that garment factory is almost 2 billion or 3 billion naira. An Akwa Ibom lawyer that came, I gave him some face masks to do or whatever during that time. He is so massive. He has a textile mill and he has a garment factory. He can do all of them at the same time. But he's doing Ishiago for a lot of people, like this flannel. Yeah. So we had an ecosystem because I registered in the Footwear Academy as a shoemaker. And I had 4,000 young people registered at the same time. We exported shoemakers to Dubai.
To trade?
To train.
Did you?
I'm a trained shoemaker.
Oh, great.
I'm a trained shoemaker. If you come to my village, I'll show you the shoes I built. Because that is the trade of my people.
Your Excellency, let me, a little bit, just deviate you away from what we have been talking about. At 60, wearing canvas, looking sprightly, and Maddox alluded to the stories we've been hearing. Which of the Nollywood girls is still with you now?
Steve, you're advertising me. Okay, let me say this. I heard all that story. There was a time we wanted to, we are pioneer for telehealth in Nigeria. We linked over 260 primary healthcare centers.
So, okay, telemedicine.
Telemedicine. Abia is the flagship. I had to deliver a paper in Rwanda on Digital Africa, on this telehealth thing. And what did we do? We got 15 medical doctors also, had a room like this where they sit in front and they're looking at a TV screen. And we connected all the primary health care centers. So they call in, and the doctors could talk to the patients, and the primary health care attendant could talk to the doctor and get clarification on what symptoms she's seen or he's seen or whatever. In fact, at some point, some of those telehealth doctors knew the patients. You'll be there, they will call your name at home. We spoke to you last week, Mama. Is the headache still bothering you and all of that? So we had gone to that point. It was when we started that program that my then Commissioner for Information decided that there was need for us to do a video, whatever, or marketing the importance of telehealth. They needed to go to apps to capture some students. And JOK brought some Nollywood people.
JOK, John Okiyikalu.
Yes, they went to Abia State University. They went to Area, saw shoemakers, and interviewed them. The importance of somebody was, I think Dauda acted as somebody who was doing his shoe, and he was having headache. And then all of a sudden, say, hey, I cannot go to my doctor. So he used this card and call. When he called the doctor said, how is it applicable? Do this. A girl was reading in the school, and by 12 midnight, she had problems. She couldn't access a doctor, whatever, but she dialed a doctor. And so they did that thing, and they came to my lodge, all of them, with camera like this, and we took photograph, just one photograph.
Nollywood actresses.
Yes, one photograph. That was how I became the darling of Nollywood people.
Because you didn't buy pass for first.
Let me say this. When my wife had this, somebody told my wife said to me that they said I bought a Range Rover. My wife asked the person, what did the girl do for me? Because my wife knows that the OKZ cannot. I don't even have that Range Rover. Range Rover.
Because you say sometimes you start saying sorry from the bedroom and say whether for the offenses you have committed or the ones you want to commit. So is you watch football, you don't play any longer. Are you into tennis?
I do. I play tennis.
Okay.
I play soccer because it's the two I can ignore. But I'm not. I do 5-a-side.
Okay.
Then I do tennis. Okay. Then I work out in the gym, and then I read a lot. I'm also thinking seriously about what to do about leadership, because I don't like to complain for a long time.
Okay.
I don't like to complain my father told me that you see, two things actually stand somebody out as intelligent or ordinary. One is your turnaround time in terms of decision making. How long does it take you to come around to the right answer? So you must learn and practice how to eliminate toxic options or options that won't work. And when you are faced with the option, and that is the option, you must dredge up enough courage to face that option. So if I have fresh egg now and the thing fall from my hand, the only thing I would do is to either look for packer to throw it away, or if it's on the street where I don't need to do anything, I will walk faster than the person who you won't even remember that time, because waiting there and crying. I'm crying. Because then Spaglu will not help me. What will
Head.
Yes.
You're always signing.
Yes. This is a good place to close this book. I've tried.
We thank God.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. In case you're just joining us, which is very late, we've been talking with the former governor of Abia State, His Excellency Okezie Victor Ibazu, PhD. He's helped us to put a searchlight on those things you must have heard about him and given us the true perspective of them from the one who would know better about all of those things. Thank you once again, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steve, for being here with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for all the support, Your Excellency.
Cool.
We hope to see you again, and by that time we'll have another person who will be in the States to give us the true perspective of things. But don't forget, you can find out more information about this program and others on our website, utvafrica.com. Till we see you again, have an excellent day ahead. Thank you.